And give me the links if it works.
No, of course. If you have a specialist spinner match with that, you would look at that, especially even in T20 cricket, because it's not just about creating that impact with 2 balls. You have 24 balls as a bowler, and that's something that I'm sure if you're a genuine match winner, you'll be able to create that impact. So that's one. But I think looking at this IPL itself, I've been very impressed with Russ. He's someone who I think has the ability to not just bowl 4 overs, but also has the quality to bat. And he's done that in this IPL as a player. And the other aspect that we see in the spinner is he also okay to bowl in different phases. And then he's someone who bowls in power play because you need to, in this format now with modern T20 batters the way they bat, you need that option for a skipper as a spinner to be able to bowl in the first 6 overs. And that's something that you're also looking for in a spinner.
Speaking of bowling in all phases and having an impact, there are a few Australian great bowlers that have started with it, some people that season, but in this season of the IPL have had that incredible impact for their teams. And will continue to, I'm sure, to Super Australia for how many years. I mean, that process of transition, is there a thought behind it? Are there conversations happening in terms of hospital management?
Well, I guess there is. Get to a certain age, it's inevitable that there's going to be change in the team, but they're pretty well looked after, those guys. Pat Cummins, they're very well managed. They don't overplay. They don't play shield cricket. I mean, back in our era, we played us himself. Every time we had a chance, we played shield cricket. And then if we didn't play shield cricket, we played grade cricket. So these days, they're well managed. I mean, they play a certain amount of games each year, well looked after, a lot of support staff. So their careers are going to be longer. So I think someone like Pat Cummins will play for another 4 or 5 years. Hazelwood, probably the same start. I think they'll play for a couple of years yet. They've been an amazing attack and put together. Nathan Lyons probably one of their greatest ever bowling attacks, but it's not forever, so we're going to start planning for the next phase of bowlers. And I'm not sure who they are, but it's hard to replace those guys, like they're legends in that. It's like, India trying to replace Ashwin and Kohli and Sharma. They're legends in the game. It's not easy to replace those sort of players, but there's enough depth in Australian cricket to cover for that. With our T20 side, I think we've got to be consistent and pick a team that plays together for a while. Our T20 team, every time you see the team on TV, it's a different side. So they're not used to playing with each other. You've got to get a settled combination if they're going to be the best side in the world. So I think that's a weakness in the Australian team right now is that the guys don't play a lot together as a T20 unit. And it's pretty hard to expect them to come together for a World Cup and to do the business and to be consistent and together. So I think our team needs to pick a solid combination, stick with that, and play more regularly together to be successful.
Just a few more questions before we wrap up and move on to the next one. Just based on what Steve just said, you have 3 that stepped away after the T20 World Cup, 3 very iconic players in T20s. And you had a T20 side that was completely different to the one that had won the T20 World Cup and still continued to dominate. So that period of transition for you between the T20 setup, and when you just look at the areas that still need a little bit of work on, one of those areas.
Well, certainly, I think there's one more pillar there in Jasprit Bumrah. If that pillar goes, then there's a big void to fill. I think as far as T20 cricket is concerned, I think bowling becomes very, very critical. And I'm someone who believes that batters win you matches, but bowling and bowlers win you championships. And so you want to have a really solid bowling lineup. We've seen a couple of fast bowlers coming up through the ranks in this Tata IPL. The likes of Prasanth Krishna, who's really impressed. Arshdeep Singh has continued to interest. Arshdeep is someone I think who spearhead the attack. I think Bumrah looks after himself and they take care of him well. I think he will go for another 4 or 5 years. But I'm surprised now, with that kind of an action, he's only managed to have 1 injury so far. Knock on wood. But I think in the bowling department, we see a few more youngsters coming up for the next couple of years. So probably pretty shoes. Now, if we can do that, then I think we will last a good stay.
Well, it's going to be a great tour, a great summer of cricket. I'm definitely looking forward to it. They always love traveling to Australia, and I'm pretty sure they're going to hear some pretty impressive statements because that never stops.
I thought you were saying sledges.
I was trying to say stage.
I've got a story about Steve Waugh while I was here.
Do you need to tell now? Or?
Definitely. So you always remember the first thing that anyone says to you, right?
Sounds very complimentary. You want that first few comments?
Stephen Waugh's first comments to me as I smashed him down the ground before the game.
You've already exaggerated there already.
He said, "This is the school cricket now, fat boy."
I think I was asking